Today, we're diving into the most incredible story you'll ever hear, the story of our planet Earth. It's the only world we know of that's teeming with life, and its journey from a literal hellscape to the home we know today is honestly more dramatic than any movie.
Okay, so let's just jump right in. I want you to picture Earth, not our blue and green marble, but a raging global inferno. We're talking oceans of molten rock and a surface temperature of over 12,000 degrees Celsius. It wasn't really a planet at all, more like a fiery liquid star.
So, that's the big question, isn't it? How in the world did that violent, boiling ball of rock become the beautiful, living world we're on right now? The answer is just this wild ride of cosmic violence, incredible luck, and some serious planetary engineering. To really get our planet's story, we have to go right back to its birth. And I'm telling you, it was a time so violent and alien you wouldn't even recognize it. This wasn't our Earth. This was a planet in the process of being born. Scientists have a pretty perfect name for this early period, the Hadean Eon. Yep, that's named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. And frankly, with volcanoes erupting everywhere and a surface made of lava, hellish is pretty much the only word that fits. But hang on, how did this hellscape even form in the first place? Well, for that, we have to rewind the clock even further back, before the planets, before even the sun was a thing, to the very beginning of our solar system. It all started about 4.6 billion years ago with something called the solar nebula. Just imagine this giant swirling cloud of gas and dust. Then, a nearby star explodes, sending a shock wave that makes this whole cloud start to collapse in on itself. As it collapses, it spins faster and faster, until the center gets so hot it ignites. And bam! That's our sun. All the leftover stuff flattened out into a spinning disk around it. And this is basically planet building 101. Inside that spinning disk, tiny little dust particles started clumping together, kind of like cosmic dust bunnies. Then those clumps got bigger, forming rocks, and for millions of years, those rocks just smashed into each other, getting bigger and bigger, until one of them became a young, fiery Earth. So there we have it, a baby Earth. But it was still just a hot ball of rock. It was missing a pretty crucial feature, and its most violent, most world-changing chapter was just about to kick off. You see, the early solar system was a chaotic, crowded place, and Earth wasn't alone in its orbit. There was another young planet out there, about the size of Mars, which scientists call Theia, and it was heading straight for us. Now, I really want you to try and wrap your head around the violence of what was about to happen. Think about how fast a bullet is, right? Well, Theia was moving at over 9 kilometers a second. That's more than 7 times faster. This wasn't going to be a collision. It was planetary obliteration. When Theia hit, the energy released was just unimaginable. It completely vaporized Theia and blasted a huge chunk of our own planet's surface clean into space. And just like that, Earth was reset back to square one, a seething, molten ball of liquid rock. But here's the crazy part. Out of that absolute destruction, something amazing was created. All that debris that got blasted into space didn't just fly away. It got caught by Earth's gravity, forming this beautiful, glowing ring of rubble. Over time, gravity did its thing and pulled all that rubble together. And that is how we got our moon. It was born from the wreckage of 2 worlds. And get this, today, the moon is almost 400,000 kilometers away, but right after it formed, it was just 22,500 kilometers from us. Can you imagine that? It would have been this huge, molten world just hanging in the sky, dominating the view. So Earth survived its biggest collision and even got a moon out of the deal, but it was still a dry, dead rock. To become a living world, it needed the most important ingredient of all, water. And that water didn't arrive peacefully. It showed up during another period of total chaos, called the Late Heavy Bombardment. For hundreds of millions of years, our part of the solar system basically turned into a cosmic shooting gallery. So what happened was this giant chain reaction. The huge planets out there, Jupiter and Saturn, started shifting their orbits. Their gravity is so massive, it started messing with everything else. They pushed Neptune way out into the Kuiper Belt, which is this huge ring of icy objects. It was like a cosmic bowling ball hitting the pins. Neptune's gravity then flung trillions of those icy comets right toward the inner solar system. And for millions of years, they rained down on Earth, delivering their frozen cargo.
And that's the incredible thing that connects us to this story. Every single drop of water on our planet, in the oceans, in the clouds, in that glass right there, it was all delivered here from the outer edges of the solar system billions of years ago. You're literally drinking ancient space ice. How cool is that? Okay, so the planet finally has water, but getting the water is one thing, keeping it is a whole different problem. For that to happen, Earth needed to build two critical defense shields.
The first shield was our atmosphere. And remember those volcanoes from the hellish Hadean Eon? Well, they were constantly pumping out enormous amounts of gas. Luckily, Earth's gravity was just strong enough to hold on to those gases, wrapping the planet in its very first atmosphere. And that was absolutely crucial. It acted like a blanket, trapping the water vapor, which then created clouds, which then rained down to form our first oceans.
Now, having an atmosphere is great, but it's also really vulnerable. See, our own sun is constantly shooting out a stream of charged particles called the solar wind, and that solar wind can literally blast an atmosphere away into space. So to survive, Earth needed a second, much more powerful shield, a planetary force field.
And this is where the stories of Earth and Mars go into totally different directions. Deep inside our planet, a spinning core of molten iron acts like a giant engine, creating a powerful magnetic field all around us. That's our force field. It deflects the solar wind. Now look at Mars. Scientists believe it once had oceans and an atmosphere too, but its smaller core cooled down and its magnetic field just died. Without that shield, the solar wind just scoured the planet clean, leaving it the dry, frozen desert it is today. That magnetic field, it's the single biggest reason we're here and Mars is not. So when you look at the whole story, it's just this incredible sequence of lucky breaks. It's like a recipe. You have to form in just the right spot. You have to survive a planet-shattering impact that just so happens to create a stabilizing moon. You need a special delivery of water from deep space. And then you have to develop an atmosphere and a magnetic field to protect it all. You mess up just one of those steps, and Earth is just another dead rock in space. And so the stage was finally set. The planet was perfect. It had stable oceans, a protected atmosphere, a magnetic shield. All the right ingredients were finally here. But that just leads to the biggest question of all, doesn't it? In those ancient oceans, how did all that non-living chemistry cross that mysterious line and become life? Well, that is a story for another day.